What is up, awesome people of the internet? On December the 6th, the Golden State Valkyries will have their expansion draft where they are able to select up to 12 players from each of the current WNBA teams to form their roster. Now, before that happens, tomorrow is the deadline of when teams need to submit their protected players, meaning players who are not able to be picked up by the Golden State Valkyries. Each team can have up to 6 of those players. They don't have to have 6, but they can have up to 6. Now, here's the thing about that. We do not know the final. We will not know the final list, mainly because that list is not going to be made public. However, there are a lot of inferences that we can make already, and I am doing a series where I'm walking through every single team in the WNBA and talking about, if I was the GM, who are the players I would keep and why, and who are the players that I would leave unprotected to possibly get picked up by the Golden State Valkyries. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. We already did a video around the Indiana Fever. If y'all want to watch that, y'all can click in the description below. Y'all can click on the playlist. In this video, I am going to be taking a look at the Connecticut Sun. Now, the Connecticut Sun is a good team. They have been a good squad for a long, long time. This season in the WNBA, they had a record of 28 wins, 12 losses during the regular season. We saw them make it to the postseason, where they ended up beating the Indiana Fever, sweeping the Indiana Fever in that first round. But in the second round, they ended up losing to the Minnesota Lynx, who ultimately made it to the finals, ended up losing to the New York Liberty. So let's talk about this Connecticut Sun team. This is a team that is going to look very different next year. Mainly, you lose your coach. So Stephanie White was the head coach of the Connecticut Sun. She left Connecticut and decided to go to the Indiana Fever. So now Connecticut does not have a coach. They are still on the hunt. They're still in the hunt for a new coach. That is something that is going to be TBD. But something that they did say is they are looking to have a coach kind of grow with the team and really be loyal to staying in Connecticut. Now, that means that in my mind, I'm thinking ding, 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 rebuild, 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 rebuild. And that's probably what's going to happen for the Connecticut Sun, because they're just going to look very different. They have quite a few free agents that they're going to have to deal with, and that's going to be a thing. That's going to for sure be a thing. Now, here's two things I want to say about the Connecticut Sun before we get into who they're going to protect, who they're not going to protect. Number one, they have an advantage, and it's because 2 of their players have already reached the maximum of cores, and they cannot be picked up by the Golden State Valkyries. So DeWanna Bonner and Brianna Jones are 2 players that are not able to be picked up by the Golden State Valkyries. The reason why is because they've exhausted their core years. And players who have exhausted their core years are ineligible to be picked up in the expansion draft. So those are 2 players that you already can wipe off the board. Like, okay, the Connecticut Sun do not have to worry about these 2 players. So let's go into the players that they are going to protect. Number one on that list, you want to protect Alyssa Thomas. Alyssa Thomas is a player who is basically a walking double-double, walking triple-double just about every single game. This past season, she averaged around 10 points, 8 rebounds, and around 8 assists as well. She's a player who has been in the league for a long time. We all know what she's all about. She's about playing bully ball in the paint. She's about playing that point forward role, getting her teammates involved. She does a little bit of everything on both the offensive and defensive end. She's not as much of an offensive threat as she is defensively, but she absolutely does get the job done and really has been the main player that really has embodied Connecticut Sun basketball. Of course, she is a unrestricted free agent coming into 2025. However, you don't want her to go away for nothing. So you want to protect her so that way you can possibly have an opportunity to either trade her if she doesn't want to return back to the team, or you at least don't let her walk for nothing. It's likely they're going to court her for 2025 and, see if she doesn't want to stay there. Okay, trade or something. You need something. You got to leave with something when it comes to Alyssa Thomas, because she is a huge talent that, you just can't let go. Now, Marina Mabry is a player that Connecticut will also protect. The reason why is because she has a huge upside. She is a player who definitely was a late pick, late joinee for the Connecticut Sun. She had originally started her season with the Chicago Sky. We ended up seeing a trade at the All-Star break where Marina Mabrey was sent to the Connecticut Sun in return for Mariah Jefferson and Rachel Banham, and also the Sky were able to get some draft picks as well, including the 10th pick in this year's WNBA draft. So you don't want to let go of 14 to 15 points a game. You don't want that to just walk and get picked up by Golden State, because if Marina Mabrey is unprotected, she's getting picked up by Golden State. She for sure is getting picked up by Golden State. And so, yeah, you don't want to let that go for nothing. You want to protect Marina Mabrey. Another player that you definitely want to protect is Ty Harris. Ty Harris is a player who can be a three-point assassin at times. She served largely as the point guard for the Connecticut Sun. She can score at will whenever she kind of wants. She can get to her spots pretty easily. Now, if we had DeWanna Bonner and Brianna Jones that were eligible, maybe some of these people that you're protecting, maybe you wouldn't be protecting them if you had to protect DeWanna and Brianna Jones. But now that you don't have to protect them, yes, you want to keep Ty Harris from going to the Golden State Valkyries. Another player that you for sure want to protect is Layla LeCon. Now, a lot of y'all are probably like, what? Who's Layla LeCon? I didn't see her play this past season. Well, you didn't. She was drafted by the Connecticut Sun in 2024 as their number 10 pick. And she was one of those players that was drafted, but ultimately did not end up signing with the Connecticut Sun. Now, the Sun have her rights. So in the event that Layla LeCon wants to play in the WNBA next year, they have the rights to her. She would have to play for the Connecticut Sun. Now, the reason why I think you need to protect Layla LeCon is because Layla has a crazy upside. She is a pretty decently sized guard. She's 5'11". She played for France. She is someone who can get you around 12 to 14 points a game. Also as a player that can take care of the basketball, get her teammates involved, but more of a shooter than anything. If she comes into the WNBA next year, you want her on your team. You don't want to get rid of the rights to a fantastic international player like a Layla LeCon. It's something about these French players. They special, y'all. They are so special. You want to make sure to protect her. Now, another player you want to protect is for sure Dijonai Carrington. Now, Dijonai Carrington is going to be a restricted free agent. So that means that the Connecticut Sun have the rights to her, but she could sign with another team unless the Sun end up matching whatever offer she get. Now they should for sure. Like when you're looking at the future of the Sun, you need Dijonai Carrington on that team because she really is the kind of like similar to the impact that Alyssa Thomas makes in a way where Dijonai Carrington impacts everything. She impacts the offense. She can score. She also impacts the defense. She is a fantastic defender. She's going to sit down on defense. She's going to play one of the best players, one of the best guards on the other team, and really do her thing. You definitely don't want her to just be able to walk for nothing. She is a restricted free agent, so you may or may not get her next year. There's an option where you could core her if you want it, but you can only core one player at a time, so it'll have to be a choice. Who do you want to sort of keep on your team? Is it Dijonai? Is it Alyssa Thomas? I think it should be both. You match whatever offer Dijonai gets in the free agency route, and then you end up coring Alyssa Thomas. But for sure, you want to protect Dijonai Carrington. You don't want that 13 points a game. You don't want that leaving your team. You don't at all. You don't want that. Another player that I think might get protected, though TBD, is going to be Veronica Burton. So Veronica Burton is a player who didn't have that much of an impact for the Connecticut Sun, but it's one of those things where like you have up to 6 players that you could protect. Like, do you just allow Veronica Burton to just get picked up by somebody? Probably not. Like, you don't have to protect her. I could see a situation where they only protect 5 players, but like, why not? You got 6 spots. Why not protect Veronica Burton? She's not getting paid a very high salary. Might as well keep her. She's a reserved free agent, so that's something to note. But yeah, so that's probably who I'm protecting. I'm protecting Marina Mabry, Alyssa Thomas, Dijonai Carrington, Layla Khan, Ty Harris, and I am protecting Veronica Burton. Now, the people who I'm not protecting, Abby Shue. Abby Shue is another player that the Connecticut Sun ended up drafting last year, but ultimately did not sign with the team. I liked Abby. I thought she played at Columbia. I thought she was a fantastic player at Columbia. She is a bona fide scorer, but there's question marks of, okay, is she even going to play in the WNBA next year? And if she does, like what does that transition to the WNBA look like? Now, if I am Golden State, I'm talking to some people. I'm trying to see, is Abby going to be a player that's ready to play in the WNBA next year? Because if she is, I want to put her on my team. If I am Connecticut, I'm thinking, maybe I don't end up protecting her. But if I'm Golden State, I'm looking to grab Abby Shue. I'm looking to grab Abby Shue because she is a bona fide scorer. But there's a question mark of like, what does her what does her trajectory actually look like in the WNBA? I think that's the big question. That is the huge question. I'm also leaving off Olivia Nelson-Ododa. I think Olivia Nelson-Ododa is a really good player. I think she has quite a bit of upside, but it's sort of like what do you want? What do you want? Who do you want to keep? I think you probably just get rid of Olivia Nelson-Ododa. You allow her to be picked up by Golden State. Is she going to get picked up? If they don't pick up Abby Shue, yeah, they're picking up Olivia Nelson-Ododa. But likely they're not. Now, some other players that are on the roster that would not be protected is going to be Astudu Fall. It doesn't make sense to protect her. Tiffany Mitchell, she's gone through a lot of health stuff. I don't think it makes sense to protect her as well. Also, Caitlin Bickle, who was a late signee for the Connecticut Sun, no need to protect her. So the bubble protections, I would say, is Abby Shue and Olivia Nelson-Ododa. I think you could end up swapping them with like a Veronica Burton or a Ty Harris. But it's just a huge question mark of like, what is Abby Shue's trajectory to the WNBA? Because in college, she was fire. Absolutely fire. I don't know how her trajectory in the WNBA looks like, but if I'm Golden State, I'm definitely looking at her, and I'm definitely looking at Olivia Nelson-Ododa. So that's kind of my thoughts there. What do y'all think? What do y'all think if y'all were the GM of the Connecticut Sun? Who are you protecting and who are you letting go? Again, you can kind of wiggle at the margins here and there about do you protect Veronica Burton? Do you not protect her? What do you do on that front? But for sure, you're definitely keeping Layla Khan because she has a crazy upsides, and yeah, you don't want another team going possibly getting her if she makes a decision to actually come to the U.S. and play in the WNBA. So those are my thoughts for the Connecticut Sun. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure to watch the other videos in the playlist, and I will see y'all in the next one. Till next time, guys. Goodbye.